On this edition of The Rock, we will take a closer look at what it means to be a teaching icon by focusing on 3 special teachers here at Trinity High School. All this and more on this month's episode of The Rock. Here are your anchors, Patrick Schmidt and Coy Broderick.
Welcome to the 5th edition of The Rock. The Rock is a monthly news magazine that features stories based on a theme that focuses on the people, places, and events here at Trinity and in the Louisville community.
Rostel, Castor, Esterly, Sands, Hubler, Eckert, and Himmerly. What do all these names have in common? They are all Trinity teaching icons. These former teachers all left an indelible mark on the Trinity community through their passion and teaching and ability to motivate students to achieve greatness. Trinity is fortunate that it still has many teachers here today who continue to inspire their students. On today's show, we will take a look at 3 teachers who we consider to be teaching icons.
Hayden DeLozier and Michael Corrigan bring us our first story today on a teacher who has been sharing his good humor and passion for business and economics for over 40 years.
Hold it. This takes me back to my movie days.
As an incoming freshman in 1959, Dr. Tom Zender had to choose between Trinity and St. Xavier High School. After graduating as Shamrock in 1963, he went on to Bellarmine, joined the military, and upon returning decided to pursue his teaching career.
I wound up teaching 1 semester over at St. X. They needed a fill-in. And then came to saw Father Duer, who was a principal here. He knew me. I knew him for years. And he needed somebody to teach English, really reading English. And that was in the June of 72. And I've been here ever since.
Dr. Zender has been a staple in the Trinity community for his outgoing personality and memorable teaching style.
I think that Dr. Zender is a person that anybody who has had as a teacher remembers. I had him 15 years ago, and I can't forget him even before I was working here. He has the ability to teach through humor. Whether or not you realize that that's what he's doing, that's what he's doing. So he's really an effective communicator.
There's no such thing as really a hard subject if you got a decent teacher. I mean, you could make sex education boring if you wanted to, right? You could make calculus fun if you wanted to. And I thought, if I ever become a teacher, I'm sitting in the room, right, and I'm just looking up in front of the classroom. I'm thinking, man, if I ever became a teacher, I would try to make learning fun.
I agree with him that if you're laughing, that's what you're going to remember.
Memorable he is and always will be.
I hope that 25, 30 years from now, if people, they'll say, oh, I remember him. People like you have your own family. And you'll say, a guy named Zender. And I hope when you think of me, like I think of Father Neighbor and those fellas, Father Duer, that I'll say, good memories, good man.
He is somebody who kids know, everybody knows. Nobody will forget him because he's just that kind of a person. He's outgoing and engaging.
When the time comes for him to leave Trinity, it'll be a lot quieter, and that's not necessarily a good thing.
I like to be able to say, if I was on my deathbed, I'd like to say this. I hope in the 45 years that I've been teaching that I've made a positive difference in the lives of, 6, 7, 8,000 over the years, young men. You know what I'm trying to say? I guess in a philosophical way, it's like, have I made the world a better place than when I entered it?
Thanks, Hayden and Michael. In today's second story, we take a look at a teacher who inspires his English students through his unique teaching style and his challenge to them to think outside the box. Will Cameron and Dodge Fielden have the story?
The average student comes in contact with 25 to 30 teachers during his 4 years here at Trinity. Many of those teachers end up having a lasting impact on their students. Senior English teacher, Mr. John Kale, is consistently recognized by former and current students alike as being one of their most memorable teachers here at Trinity. Through his caring attitude and unique teaching style, Mr. Kale has earned the title Trinity Icon.
Well, it's kind of my personality, but also I can remember when I was back 40 some odd years ago when I was doing teacher training, I did a research paper on academic success in the classroom, and I'll never forget this. I'll never forget this as long as I live, as long as I work. One of the most important elements about student success in the classroom is the students have to kind of like what they're doing. And the more you get students involved in what's going on in the classroom, the higher success rate you're going to have. So I try to get very pumped up and very emotional in class just to try to get kids to realize and see excitement, that what I'm covering can be exciting, and maybe it keeps them awake a little bit more. But that's kind of my personality. I've always done it. I'm not afraid to do it. It's just what I do.
Mr. Kale has had a lasting impact on many of his former students. One such student is Michael Schneider, who is now a teacher himself here at Trinity.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost 15 years ago, but yeah, I mean, it was more than just, English classes. I liked his teaching style. I don't know, it was fun. It was fun to go to. I didn't mind going to his English class. I liked it.
I try to make it different. I try to personalize it to the class I'm teaching. Each class is different because each individual in the class is different. So I may not be able to approach my green 3 the same way I approach my white 3 class. And that's part of it. That's part of the infatuation of teaching, is the fact that you cannot do this. You cannot do the same thing every day with every class.
Mr. Kale's lessons have not only impacted his students in the classroom, but have extended into their daily lives. The things students see and do in the classroom have been seen through the students by people such as their parents.
I know he always kept a journal that Mr. Kale had them keep, and in fact I still have that journal to this day. So, and I loved that he had Mr. Kale.
It is obvious that Trinity is more than just a place he graduated from or a place he has taught and coached, but rather a way of life for Mr. Kale, a place where he has touched the lives of countless students and is truly a Trinity icon.
How well do you know your teachers? These 8 teachers graduated from Trinity back in the day. Who are these teachers? Let's hope you look half as good as these old guys do when you're their age. See you next time.
In our final story, Alex Godfrey and Max Brown take a look at a teacher who still may be a relative newcomer to Trinity, but is destined to become a Trinity icon.
Shake it, dry it off, don't touch anything, don't burn it. The word icon to me says something maybe completely different. I'm here, I do my job, and I love doing this job. I still don't consider myself to have been here long enough or actively involved enough to be yet part of this place, a cornerstone, a brick on which things are built.
Having taught here since 1997, Trinity's own Mr. Budniak has greatly influenced the lives of his students and has left a strong impact on the Trinity community that has earned him the title of a Trinity icon.
In and out to try and get student success. If they're trying, then he's trying. And
he's really dedicated to what he does, and you can tell that he really cares about educating us.
His class is really hands-on, and it's a great setting to be in, great guy to have in class.
Mr. Budniak's eccentric personality leaves a strong impression on all those around him.
He's one of those teachers that, even shadows, when they come to visit, they remember Mr. Budniak when they come back.
They've been interesting. He's a colorful character, but he really cares about his work, and he's a good teacher.
It continues to amaze me more and more that I cannot go out in this city without either running into somebody that either knows me, knows of me, or people coming up to me and introducing themselves. It scares the crap out of me.
Mr. Budniak's students and co-workers appreciate his unique passion and drive.
He's really dedicated to what he does, and you can tell that he really cares about educating us.
Well, I know I have a whole lot of energies. I enjoy playing off of students, and that frenetic, sometimes chaotic energy bouncing off the walls, I feed off of student responses.
I just think that kids remember doing things in a class that are interesting and different, and a teacher that is exciting and makes the material fun.
And I've got that energy because I really love what I do, and that's not going to change. That's why I want to focus what I can on the classroom, because I think that's where I do the best job that I can. Give me another 20 years, if I last that long, we'll have a conversation about a potential icon. Right now, I'm kind of overwhelmed by even that designation that you guys are doing for this project. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me yet. I just yell and scream a lot. That's about all I got to do.
Thanks, Alex and Max. Well, that's it for this episode of The Rock. We hope you enjoyed today's show.
We will be back in April with another episode of The Rock. Have a great afternoon, Trinity.